Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is going well. I hope this is going to be a short live stream. And I'm going to talk about food sabotage because guess what? I believe it's already happening. I was talking about this earlier and I was saying, listen, I'm going to make a prediction that this year, 2026, we are going to see lots of fields going up and burning and the food supply being absolutely destroyed in the United Kingdom. I did a little bit of research about this and it actually turns out this is a lot worse than you guys think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about this as moving forwards to this year. I'm then going to jump back and I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an update on what happened in the United Kingdom last year with and you guys can search this for yourself, how much of our food infrastructure, our farms are being attacked already. And like I said, guys, okay, I was going to do this video and just focus on what's coming this year, I feel. However, it does feel like we're already there. So while we're still watching the smoke rise from military bases, critical infrastructure, I think another quiet question is starting to form. In the last 12 months, we've seen fires hit food processing sites and farms across the United Kingdom. Whether that is a major meat processing plant in Northern Ireland, badly damaged by fire, whether that's the accidental wildfires that have been happening in the United Kingdom, our food supply chain is already dangerously fragile. If you guys watched my previous video, we were talking about grow potatoes, right? We only grow 60% of the food that we eat. The rest comes in with on ships and trains and planes and automobiles. Now add this pattern of fires, and I'll give you some more specifics in a second. We're watching suspicious blazes at defense sites, BAE systems, substations, and starting to think, oh, okay, this is a little bit suspicious. So let me ask you guys a question, okay? Is our food supply chain also vulnerable to sabotage? Now, that's what I was going to do the video about, but it turns out there's been a suspicion, like a lot. I'm talking like 27,000 reported wildfires, which is ridiculous. And it's just, so this, I believe this is going to be worse this year. So when you're planning an asymmetric warfare attack, right, or some sort of sabotage, yes, of course, we can go and sabotage the nuclear Trident missiles, and that's fine, you can parachute in, you can send one of your cosmonauts into space. And then when he comes over Britain, you can tell him to parachute out and land in Scotland and then, infiltrate his way into the nuclear silo and plant a little. That's absolutely fine. How likely do you think that is? What's the success rate of that? What's the risk versus reward? It's not good, right? However, fields, you guys can all walk to the field, right? You can all go and buy petrol. You can all go and buy matches and lighters, because in an age of asymmetric warfare, where enemies no longer need tanks and missiles, just a few criminal gangs with a pot of petrol and a lighter, food is the ultimate soft target. It is, guys. It's the ultimate soft target. You don't need to sink a warship to hurt a nation. You just need to create fear, shortages, and panic at the dinner table. Just think about it, right? I keep saying this, we all laugh. We all laugh at other countries because they don't have the most amazing tanks. And, we were all laughing at Putin's... everyone was laughing at Putin's, his aircraft carrier, because the Russians don't spend much money on their navy. Well, guess what? If someone wanted to destabilize Britain without firing a single shot, they would strike, of course. Where would they strike? The military bases, yes. Power stations, yes, absolutely. But food processing plants, cold storage, the farms, that would hit every single one of us. And it's easy. It's deniable. We don't know yet if these fires are connected. I'm going to talk more about them in a second. Maybe they're not. Maybe these fires are not connected. But I think everybody should ask themselves this. If we are, and I believe we are, seeing an uptick in sabotage in the United Kingdom, then don't you think those dry fields make a fantastic target? So last year, I am going to talk about. I'm going to talk about what happened last year. So this was going to be a short live stream, and I just wanted to say, listen, guys, I do think this year we're going to see an uptick in food sabotage. Right? I did a little search online, and what I found, it's quite breathtaking. So take a moment to think about this, guys. Okay, in 2025. Was a year that should have set off every alarm bell in the country. And I didn't even realize this had happened, guys. I didn't. I did not realize this had happened. And I was, I was online last year. People are more focused about the guns and the tanks and Vladimir Putin's new missile system, the hypersonic missile system with these fancy sensors. Yes. And the F-35 jet can produce so much thrust. Yeah. That's all well and good. You've got Mohammed in the field with burning the food down. Last year, we saw over 27,000 wildfires across the UK. More than 40,000 hectares of land was burned. That's about the size of the Isle of Wight. And a huge portion of that wasn't just woodland or grassland. Thousands of farmers' fields were destroyed. Standing crops, barley, wheat, oilseeds went up in flames across the country. Fields that were weeks away from harvest reduced to blackened stubble. Combine harvesters catching fire and spreading the blaze. Record after record broken for grassland and crop fires in 2025. I didn't realize this, guys. I didn't. So some of these fires were started deliberately. In parts of Wales, over 70% of them were confirmed as arson. While heat waves did play their own parts, the sheer number and the pattern left many farmers and rural communities asking a serious question. Now ask yourself this. In a country that's seen suspicious substation fires, attacks on military supply chains, and rising infrastructure incidents, how many of these burning fields were just accidents, bad luck? We are watching our food production burn while lorries still roll and the supermarkets are still stocked. But what happens this summer? What happens this summer? That was, it was a record breaker for farmers' fields burning last year. Think about the situation that we're in now and moving forwards into. Fuel shortages, shortages of everything, price of everything going up. When the grid is unstable, when the supply chains are under real pressure and more fields go up in smoke. This is why I did that video before, guys. Okay. Start growing stuff. Potatoes is what I'm saying, guys. Okay. Start growing potatoes. The food supply, I was shocked, genuinely shocked. 27,000 wildfires. They're the official numbers, guys. 27,000 wildfires in the United Kingdom. 27,000 wildfires in the United Kingdom. So this was just going to be a short video, to let people understand food sabotage. It's real. I believe it's already been happening, and I think it's going to get worse this year. Anyway, guys, right, I'm off to go and plant some potatoes. I'm off to go and plant some potatoes. So I'm sorry I'm not getting any comments on the chat. This video will be uploaded, and I will catch you guys later.